Recap: Tales of Herding Gods, Chapter 559, Chapter Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Senior Tiger truly feels even more delightful to the touch in this form. Hoolinger spoke with a grave and earnest expression as she addressed Qinmu. The little fox had already reached out twice, her tiny paws pressing into the tiger's body, and she could not help but note how plump and round he had become. A trace of concern surfaced within Qinmu's heart. He feared that his senior brother might one day lose restraint and grow overly corpulent from indulging in too many gold water mixed vitality pills. Yet this black tiger god was, after all, his senior brother, a being who had followed Saint Woodcutter for far longer than he himself had. Moreover, he was a renowned deity whose name once shook the heavens. As a mere junior, Qinmu knew it was not his place to admonish him. Even if he were to advise the black tiger god to consume fewer mixed vitality pills, Qinmu was certain the words would fall on deaf ears. Between him and the dragon Qilin, the black tiger god clearly favored the latter's counsel. I should leave this troublesome matter for Saint Woodcutter to worry about. Turning his gaze outward, Qinmu beheld streams of devil qi surging skyward like tides of darkness. Some coiled into lotus blossoms, some drifted like thick clouds, while others twisted into the shapes of peacocks or towering devil gods. These were manifestations born from the vital qi of devil experts. To conjure such visions, one must at the very least stand within the celestial being realm, or even beyond. And yet, despite their formidable presence, none of these powerful devil practitioners advanced to strike them down. It was as though they were patiently awaiting the arrival of something greater. An expert of the divine bridge realm has descended. Qinmu narrowed his eyes and focused his gaze. In the distance, a divine bridge stretched across the heavens for dozens of miles, spanning the firmament like a celestial path. Upon it strode a devil god's primordial spirit, and above his head hovered celestial palaces of the devil path. This was none other than the manifestation of a mighty practitioner of the divine bridge realm. Within eternal peace, such beings had once been revered as sect masters, their strength unparalleled. But that was in an age long past. Ever since Qinmu had spread the method to repair the divine bridge and ascend into the celestial palaces, one could only be deemed truly at the level of a sect master upon becoming a god. Even so, practitioners of the divine bridge realm remained terrifying existences. Should they give chase, only the black tiger god could shield the group from certain doom. Soon, Qinmu saw a second divine bridge appear, then a third and a fourth. One after another, formidable figures emerged behind them. Their primordial spirits varied in form, and their positions upon their respective bridges revealed differences in cultivation depth. From afar, these spirits gazed upon Qinmu's group as beams of devilish light swept recklessly across the sky. Yet despite the growing number of divine bridge realm experts, none made a move. They are waiting for something even stronger to descend. Qinmu's eyes narrowed as his thoughts churned. Only those who have stepped beyond the divine bridge, devil gods who have entered the celestial palaces, could command such restraint. But whether this incoming devil god has crossed the southern heavenly gate, that remains unknown. He glanced toward the black tiger god, who was sprawled lazily upon the chest alongside the dragon Qilin. Ever since the two had discovered a shared topic of conversation, they had become utterly indolent, whispering incessantly to one another like idle companions. An uneasy premonition stirred in Qinmu's heart. May the one who arrives not have crossed the southern heavenly gate. Sanghua's brows furrowed as she spoke in a hushed voice. Brother Cultmaster, if we continue forward, we will soon reach the front lines. There are countless powerful devil practitioners gathered there. Qinmu's mind trembled, and clarity struck him like lightning. Numerous strong experts lie ahead while pursuers close in from behind. If both forces converge, they will trap us between them like prey in a snare. The devils behind us are not waiting for reinforcements. They are already part of the ambush, waiting for us to step into their net. Stealing his mind, Qinmu walked toward the chest. The black tiger god and the dragon Qilin immediately ceased their muttering upon seeing him approach. Qinmu shared his deduction, his voice solemn as iron. Senior Brother Tiger, the farther we advance, the closer we draw to the front lines, and the greater the danger. Once we near them, a devil god will surely lead an army to block our path. At the same time, another devil god will cut off our retreat from behind. If we are caught between them, we will be annihilated. The Black Tiger god rose to his feet like a colossal feline, his presence imposing as he spoke with gravity. A sound strategy! However, they underestimate me. I followed my lord across the lands, conquering north and south, bathing in the blood of countless foes to earn my renown. After my lord turned to stone, I too slumbered. It seems these devil brats have forgotten the terror of my name. Fear not. When we are 1,000 miles from the front lines, call upon me. Chinmu opened his mouth, yet no words came forth. Moments later, the Black Tiger god lay down once more. Then, lifting his head, he added, "Do you still possess spirit herbs? The ones you gave me have all been refined into pills. Give me more. I fight better with a full belly." Chinmu retrieved a batch of spirit herbs from his Tao-Tea sack, just enough for a single furnace, and handed them over. Senior Brother Tiger, do not overindulge. Be careful not to become like Fatty Dragon. The Black Tiger god laughed proudly. You underestimate me. Through cultivation, I can dissolve these pills without leaving any excess flesh. I know my limits. Later, I shall show you the might of my true power. Sister Hua, how far are we from the front lines? Chinmu asked. Sanghua unfolded a geographical map, scanning its surface before measuring with a ruler. This is Cloud Gathering Mountain. We are still 4,000 miles away. Chinmu examined the scale and measured it himself. Shaking his head, he corrected, 4,261 miles. Sanghua smiled lightly. Why such precision? Chinmu merely shook his head. Because the algebra of your Supreme Emperor Heaven is utterly abysmal. Even your son was forged crookedly beyond reason. Naturally, he could not voice such thoughts aloud. When Sanghua had a moment of respite, Ling Yuxiu and Si Yunxiang called her over. The three women began conversing animatedly, exchanging insights on cultivation paths, techniques, and divine arts from Supreme Emperor Heaven and Eternal Peace. Ling Yuxiu and Si Yunxiang humbly sought guidance on cultivating to the level of a young true god, and Sanghua generously shared all she knew. In turn, she inquired about Eternal Peace's divine arts, and the two taught her a newly created technique, Primordial Spirit Guide. Primordial Spirit Guide requires dual cultivation. Surely this technique can only be practiced between husband and wife? Sanghua asked in astonishment. Ling Yuxiu smiled. Nonsense. As long as the primordial spirits resonate, anyone can cultivate it. Even monks and Taoists in Eternal Peace practice it. Sanghua was left speechless. After a pause, she asked suspiciously, Even monks and Taoists? You too? Have you also cultivated it? I cultivated it with the coward, Ling Yuxiu replied calmly. A flicker of disappointment and jealousy crossed Sanghua's eyes. Turning to Si Yunxiang, she asked, And you, Sister Xiang? Si Yunxiang smiled faintly. I have also cultivated it with Cult Master. His primordial spirit is exceptionally powerful. You will progress swiftly if you dual cultivate with him. Sanghua's eyes widened as she exclaimed, How can you... Both of you? That's impossible. Primordial spirit dual cultivation only allows one Dao partner. As she teetered on the edge of frenzy, Si Yunxiang spoke in a soft, alluring tone. Once you cultivate with Cult Master, you will understand his primordial spirit is extraordinarily strong. Sanghua's cheeks flushed crimson. Lowering her voice, she said, The rules in Supreme Emperor Heaven differ from those in Eternal Peace. Here, primordial spirit dual cultivation is taboo. It is only permitted between husband and wife. Even engagement is insufficient. Ling Yuxiu and Si Yunxiang exchanged glances, their thoughts aligning. The customs of Supreme Emperor Heaven are outdated, but that is not your fault. Every land has its own rules. For instance, in West Earth, all women are little vixens. To pave the way, the Imperial Preceptor once brought 1,000 demonesses, causing no small amount of trouble. Chinmu ascended to a high vantage point and gazed into the distance. A dense wall of devil Qi loomed 1,000 miles ahead, stretching for 10,000 miles like an unbreakable barrier. The devil's main encampment at the front lines. Activating his 9 heavens' divine eyes, he perceived countless dazzling visions, manifestations of celestial being realm, life and death realm, and divine bridge realm experts within the devil army. Sister Hua, give me the map. She handed it over, and Chin-Mu used his vital qi as a measuring instrument, calculating with utmost precision. Glancing back at the pursuers and the thickening devil qi ahead, his eyes flickered. 1,100 miles remain. Senior Brother Tiger told me to call him at 1,000 miles. But he seems to have grown even fatter during this time. Turning back, Chin-Mu addressed the Black Tiger God solemnly. Senior Brother Tiger, we are 1,000 miles from the front lines. The small tiger sprang up from the chest and laughed. Stay here and witness my methods. With that, he charged toward the pursuing enemies. Chin-Mu watched as the Black Tiger God's speed increased with every step. In the span of a single breath, his form expanded from a foot-tall cub into a towering mountain-like beast, awe-inspiring in presence, though his belly did appear somewhat overly round. As he ran, his stance shifted, hind legs propelling him forward while his forelimbs lifted. Runes spread across his body like living armor, and in his front paws, 2 massive hammers materialized. In but a breath, he crashed into the pursuers. Bones shattered, bodies were hurled skyward, and devil practitioners fell like broken leaves. A hidden devil god revealed himself, ascending into the sky with a battle halberd to meet the Black Tiger God's twin hammers. Their clash shook the heavens, and Chin-Mu saw a mountain peak cleaved and sent drifting into the air. Move quickly, Chin-Mu shouted. Advance 100 miles. Fatty Dragon, get off the chest. Though puzzled, Sanghua obeyed, urging the chest forward. The dragon Qilin leaped down and followed. Behind them, surviving devil experts abandoned the Black Tiger God and pursued Chin-Mu's group. Meanwhile, near the main encampment, the clash between the 2 gods sent shockwaves through the region. Devil Qi surged from the camp, rushing toward Chin-Mu, clearly a powerful expert moving to encircle them. Chin-Mu led the group forward 100 miles before shouting, "Halt!" A thunderous explosion erupted behind them as the Black Tiger God and the Devil God clashed. Streaking through the sky, with a tiger's roar, mountains shattered and vegetation was uprooted, rocks shooting skyward. The Black Tiger God charged back, his hammers smashing pursuers one after another. Retreat 100 miles, Chin-Mu ordered. Though confused, the group obeyed. After crushing the pursuers, the Black Tiger God leaped over them to confront the incoming devil experts. The enemy formation, led by a devil god, was thrown into chaos by his assault. While the 2 gods battled, the remaining experts circled around and rushed toward Chin-Mu's group. After retreating 100 miles, Chin-Mu halted once more. We should be safe now. Moments later, primordial spirits arrived, unleashing divine arts from afar. Just as danger loomed, a massive hammer flew through the air, shattering both the attacks and the spirits into fragments. The Black Tiger God appeared, catching the hammer and laughing loudly. I trust I have not disappointed. Climb onto my back and follow me into the enemy's main camp. I shall escort you all back to Lee City. Chin-Mu let out a quiet sigh of relief. Senior Brother Tiger has indeed grown fatter. His weight has increased and his speed has slowed by 10%. That is why I added an extra 100 miles, and it seems my calculation was correct. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The Black Tiger crouched low upon the earth, its massive form pressing against the ground like a mountain bowing before the storm. Chin-Mu moved swiftly, casting the chest onto its broad back, then lifting Hu-Linger up with practiced ease. The 3 maidens and the dragon Qilin followed close behind, their figures like shadows clinging to a rushing gale. In the next instant, the Black Tiger God erupted forward, its limbs pounding the ground with thunderous force. Mountains blurred into streaks as it tore across the land, its speed so terrifying that even the wind seemed unable to keep pace. Chin-Mu pressed himself close against the tiger's back, attuning his senses to the rhythm of its breath. He felt it quicken, grow uneven, and a thought surfaced within his heart. I was right. Senior Brother Tiger's lifelong cultivation has been overturned in a single day by Fatty Dragon. He has truly been led astray. I only hope he does not grow too rotund. Otherwise, how will I explain this to the sacred teacher? And whether we can break through the enemy encampment and return to Lee City remains uncertain. At that very moment, a deafening roar split the heavens, like the collapse of a colossal dam unleashing a furious flood. Ignoring the biting wind lashing against his face, Chin-Mu lifted his gaze ahead. Before him, sword radiance tore through the suffocating devil chi, ripping open a massive chasm within the devil's main camp. Following that, enormous calabashes floated high in the firmament, each surrounded by divine arts practitioners. Their hands formed seals, and from within the calabashes, bolts of lightning cascaded downward like divine punishment, striking the devil's stronghold without mercy. Behind the lightning calabashes, countless sword pellets whirled in a furious tempest. Tens of thousands of them surged forward, and after the thunderous strikes of lightning, an endless rain of swords descended upon the devil's main camp. And beyond them, wave after wave of flying ships filled the skies. Mounted upon them were true origin cannons, their beams carving through the earth below. Under such relentless bombardment, the main camp crumbled into ruin. It's the army of eternal peace. Qinmu's spirit surged like a rising tide. That's sword light. It must be the eternal peace imperial preceptor. This man never leaves anything to chance, always striking with the utmost caution. That devil god who left the camp to pursue us must have been its commander. The moment he stepped away, Imperial Preceptor seized the opening and shattered their formation. Only he could be so cunning. The sword path of Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor had long transcended mortal limits, merging with his Dao heart. No flaw could escape his gaze, no weakness elude his blade. Even the enemy's formations lay bare before him. He had turned the sword into the very essence of warfare, and under his command, victory followed every strike. A sense of ease finally settled within Qinmu's chest. Though the Black Tiger God panted heavily, its strength was still sufficient to carry them out of the devil territory. Ahead, eternal peace. Imperial Preceptor and Duke Wei carved a path through the chaos, opening the way for the fleet of flying ships behind them. The soldiers bearing lightning calabashes descended and landed upon the ships, regrouping in orderly fashion. Behind them, an army composed of countless strange beasts and divine arts practitioners surged forward like a living tide. The Black Tiger God charged into the battlefield, its massive body trembling as it shook everyone from its back. Rising to its full height, it grasped its two colossal hammers and spun them like a raging tempest, smashing into the surrounding enemies with unstoppable force. Boom! When its hammer struck the ground, a boundless shockwave rippled outward. Countless devils were blasted skyward, their forms scattering like leaves in a storm. The Black Tiger God roared as it charged into the enemy formations. You all return first. I shall remain here and digest these spirit pills, burn away the excess fat in my belly, so that my lord will still recognize me. With those words, the demon god unleashed devastation in every direction. Charging toward the front lines, it shattered an enemy formation and opened its jaws wide, releasing a beam of white light that blasted forth for 100 miles, sweeping away a charging devil god before fading into the distance. Qinmu stood stunned. Turning his gaze, he saw the plump and round dragon Qilin flung into the air, its body wobbling helplessly. A pang of sorrow stirred in his heart. The sacred teacher's mount is far superior. Even if slightly gluttonous, it knows discipline, maintaining its form without hindering cultivation. The dragon Qilin, too, seemed dazed. Catching sight of Qinmu's sorrowful expression, it sank into contemplation. At that moment, a flying ship descended from the heavens. Brushing past them, upon its bow stood a young general. With a wave of his hand, golden lotuses blossomed into existence, lifting them gently and carrying them onto the vessel. Qin Fei Wei, Little General Qin. Qinmu greeted in astonishment. Clad in armor, Qin Fei returned the greeting with a slight bow. Cult Master Qin, Princess Xu, this general is in armor, thus unable to perform a full salute. From behind him, another figure hurried forward. It was Qin Yu, a young dragon coiled around his body. Qin Yu greets Cult Master Qin, Princess Xu, and Saintess Xiang. The two brothers, born of the Qin family of the General of Heavenly Strategies, were disciples of the Imperial Preceptor. Having cultivated under him, they had risen to positions of command within the army. The Imperial Preceptor had countless disciples, most of whom held high-ranking posts in the military. Ling Yuxiu, with her open-hearted nature, had forged friendships with many of them. When Qinmu had first met Ling Yuxiu, she had entered the Great Ruins alongside Qin Fei Wei, intending to chart its terrain for future conquest. The young dragon coiled around Qin Yu suddenly raised its head. its eyes filled with curiosity as it examined Qin-mu. Then it slipped down and climbed onto him, rubbing its horns affectionately against his face while letting out a soft cry. Maha! Qin-yu was taken aback. Hastily, he produced his dragon bead, attempting to summon the young dragon back, but it clung stubbornly to Qin-mu, unwilling to leave. A chill crept into Qin-yu's heart. I was already no match for him in the Imperial College. I've been defeated by him countless times, and now that he has become the Heavenly Devil cult master, I stand even less of a chance. Could it be that even my dragon will be taken from me? Qin-mu plucked the little dragon gently, examining it from all angles before exclaiming in astonishment, "Could this be the true dragon of Surging River Dragon Palace?" Qin Fei nodded. The Imperial Preceptor summoned the little Poison King and saved its life. He then gifted it to my brother. A flicker stirred in Qin-mu's heart, and with a smile he said, "Junior brother Qin-yu, may I borrow this little dragon for a few days?" Qin-yu hesitated, but Qin Fei chuckled. Cult Master Qin holds an extraordinary position and serves as Grand Chancellor of Heavenly Saint Academy. Why would he deceive you? Thus, Qin-yu could only nod. Qin-mu smiled. "Junior brother Qin-yu, I shall not borrow it without compensation. When I return it to you, you will understand." The young dragon shrank its form and climbed onto Qin-mu's earlobe, hanging there like a delicate ornament. Qin-mu cast his gaze into the distance, where the army of Supreme Emperor Heaven surged forward, seizing the moment created by the Eternal Peace Army's breakthrough. Like twin fists striking vital points, they intercepted the reinforcements of the Devil Army. Around them, flying ships, led by youthful officers, descended into battle. Cannon fire plowed through the ranks below, while divine arts practitioners unleashed sword pellets and devastating techniques upon the ground. Once the land was cleared, laborers moved swiftly to reinforce it, while the strange beast army and soldiers swept through, slaughtering any devils who had survived the initial onslaught. The officers aboard these ships are also disciples of the Imperial Preceptor, Ling Yushu remarked, surveying the battlefield. They often serve as honorary instructors at River Tomb Academy, teaching there frequently. Many are elite warriors of the army. Look, there are even familiar faces, senior and junior brothers from Imperial College. Following her gesture, Qin-mu spotted Wei Yong, Chen Wanyun, and others. He waved, but they were fully absorbed in controlling their spirit weapons and failed to notice him. Soon after, the flying ships shattered the enemy's formations. The Devil Army was torn apart, and beneath the trampling hooves of strange beasts, their resistance crumbled into despair. Qin Fei ordered the ships to halt and cease cannon fire. Spirit weapons continued their assault upon fleeing enemies, while the army secured the battlefield. Turning to Qin-mu, he explained, "Our Eternal Peace Army serves as the vanguard because the algebra of Supreme Emperor Heaven is lacking. Their formations are ordinary and loose. The Imperial Preceptor deemed their impact insufficient, thus we were sent ahead to break the enemy formation." Imperial Preceptor is indeed a rare genius. The algebra of Supreme Emperor Heaven is somewhat inferior, Qin-mu replied. Sanghua flushed faintly, lowering her head in silence. Though their algebra is weak, their divine arts are formidable. They possess strengths that Eternal Peace lacks. Thus, we rely on formation-based assaults, while close combat is entrusted to the divine arts practitioners of Supreme Emperor Heaven. Qin Fei directed his sword pellets downward, gazing at the battlefield with a rueful sigh. I once believed myself exceptional within the celestial being realm, yet after encountering these practitioners of Supreme Emperor Heaven, I realized my limitations. At my current level, I cannot even rank among them. The Imperial Preceptor has ordered that no one is to leave the ship to fight alone, for within the same realm our soldiers cannot match the devils. The battle raged on until the sun itself vanished from the sky. Only then did both sides sound the gong, recalling their troops. "We have clearly won. Why retreat?" Sanghua asked, bewildered. "Why not press the advantage and seize the city?" "Our strength is insufficient," Qin Fei replied. "If we advance recklessly, our forces will scatter, giving the devils an opportunity to counterattack. The Imperial Preceptor's strategy is to erode them gradually, bit by bit, until they are exhausted and no longer pose a threat." Qin-mu recalled the words of Saint Woodcutter, that Supreme Emperor Heaven could not be defended, and unease crept into his heart. Saint Woodcutter did not speak lightly. If he said it was undefendable, then it truly was so. The devils would not simply follow the Imperial Preceptor's expectations. Fu Rillua would undoubtedly devise another plan. As darkness descended upon the battlefield, countless will-o'-the-wisps flickered into existence. From another realm, lanterns appeared, small boats drifting from Yudu, carrying elders with indistinct faces. They had come to guide away the souls of the fallen. Whether human or devil, once reduced to a wandering spirit, all would be taken by Yudu. Meanwhile, the retreating army moved in silence, indifferent to these messengers of death, as though long accustomed to such sights. Standing upon the bow of the ship, Qin Mu gazed over the battlefield, a quiet sigh stirring within his chest, yet he spoke no words. At that moment, a small boat drifted before the ship. The elder within rose, lifting his lantern to shine upon Qin Mu. Qin Fangqing, you have disrupted Yudu. Earth Count invites you to speak on the cause and consequence of your actions. Qin Mu was inwardly startled, yet he smiled calmly. Who is Qin Fangqing? Elder, you are mistaken. The lantern's glow fell upon his face, yet the elder remained silent. Suddenly, a streak of black light flashed forth. The black tiger god appeared at the bow, standing before Qin Mu like an unyielding wall. Messengers of death concern themselves with the dead. Since when have you begun meddling in the affairs of the living? The face behind the lantern remained indistinct. Yudu has its laws. It does not interfere with the world of the living, unless one disrupts its order. Then intervention becomes necessary. Qin Fangqing released 48,000 souls from Yudu, breaking its laws. 15 days ago, we came to summon him, but he possesses a treasure that repels the messengers of death. Eternal Peace, Imperial Preceptor stepped forward, his voice solemn. And if I refuse to let you take him? Countless worlds have perished for such defiance, the elder replied. Qin Mu recalled the sorrowful wails of Dutian Devil King in the abyss, tears falling in endless grief. Taking a breath, he spoke calmly. Imperial Preceptor, Senior Brother Tiger, there is no need for further words. I will go with him.